Hello, my name is Sarah Rosen. I am the Program and Operations Manager at Solar Cookers International, and I am delighted to be here today, participating in the Cryosphere Pavilion and contributing to the conversation on solar cooking. I might mention that I am talking to you today from Denmark, and while we don't get the ice and snow that some of the other countries represented here get, I can say that coming from a northern country, one of the things I hear most about solar cooking is, it sounds great, but surely you can't do it in Denmark. And I'm very happy to say that I solar cook all the time. So if I can do it, we can all do it. And with that, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started here. Okay. So I am here to talk to you today about two methods that SCI employs to understand the solar cooking space, to understand which countries are most receptive to initiatives, and understand the potential impact of those initiatives. I'm going to start with nationally determined contributions, or NDCs, which, as many of you know, are high-level documents at the heart of the Paris Agreement, serving as each country's commitment to reducing emissions and adapting to climate impacts. They provide valuable information reflecting countries' area of focus, their most urgent needs, strategies, and targets. To meet these needs and hit these targets, often requires countries to introduce new policy, mobilize resources, or establish new partnerships. And if we want to be one of those new partners, it's important that we know what's in the NDC. So every year, starting in 2017, SCI analyzes all 196 NDCs to identify where solar cooking is or could be integrated. We summarize our findings and produce a report which identifies potentially receptive countries and highlights some specific language. So what are we looking for when we're reading through these NDCs? The first thing is to determine whether the cooking sector is acknowledged. So this includes any mention really of cooking, cook stoves, or cooking practices in pretty much any context, like deforestation, black carbon emissions, or gender equity, etc. This acknowledgement, even without specific targets, reflects an awareness of the sector's environmental, social, and health impacts, and it's a critical first step in integrating into climate action plans. Without this acknowledgement, the sector risks being overlooked. The next step or the next level is assessing language that might be favorable to solar cooking. So while explicit mention of solar cooking and targets are ideal, NDCs often take a more broad approach. And so SCI considers an NDC receptive if it promotes multiple clean cooking solutions, if it includes renewable energy targets in relation to cooking, or references improved cooking technologies. These are the countries that are best positioned to scale solar cooking initiatives. In the 2024 report, 77 of the 196 NDCs submitted to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change specifically mention cooking or cook stoves. And of these, 51 include language that could support solar cooking solutions. So while each NDC is unique, common themes include a focus on rural communities, the need for diverse technologies, and connections to gender, deforestation, and health. I'd like to especially highlight the Central African Republic as a great example here, because it not only mentions solar cooking explicitly, but also includes specific targets. So the CAR's inclusion of this language not only helps us, SCI, zero in our efforts on building relationships with key representatives, it also is crucial in securing support and funding. So I'm going to jump topics here a little bit because while NDCs can indicate which countries might be receptive to solar cooking, additional tools are needed to assess the potential impact of such initiatives. So as a key player in the global community, SCI tracks solar cooking efforts worldwide and monitors the effects of cooking with polluting fuels. So drawing on this expertise, we've developed a tool called Economic Impact Summaries, which estimates a country's potential savings in avoided healthcare and environmental costs. It's important to note here that our analysis does not assume an entire population will cook 100% of the time. Instead, we model a scenario where the portion of a country's population who is currently reliant on polluting fuels transitions to solar cooking for just a quarter of their meals. This conservative estimate accounts for weather conditions or cooking at night. It also highlights how solar cooking can complement existing cooking methods rather than replacing it. So even at this more modest adoption level, the potential savings in fuel and healthcare costs are tremendous. So how do we get to these numbers? We combine our own research with data from the World Health Organization, the World Bank, and the United States Environmental Protection Agency, among others, to generate some numbers which speak to a country's potential. Key factors include the percentage of population dependent on polluting fuels, CO2 emissions, and deaths caused by household air pollution. These data points inform two critical metrics: the social cost of carbon, which estimates the economic damage of emissions in different areas like coastal land loss or reduced crop yield, and welfare or health costs, which is a monetized estimate of the increased fatality risk due to air pollution. Together, these metrics provide the total potential savings achievable through solar cooking adoption. So our impact summary tool includes both a table listing all of the countries as well as individual country sheets, which makes the information accessible and easy to present in various advocacy contexts. Here we see an example from Mali. In Mali, 98.8% of the population uses polluting fuels, which creates smoke and contributes to almost 12,000 deaths annually. By switching to solar a quarter of the time, the country stands to save $743 million. Here we see another example from Central African Republic, where 99% of the population is dependent on polluting fuels. Earlier, I highlighted Central African Republic's NDC, which includes specific solar cooking targets. So together, these tools, the impact summary and the NDC, help us complete a picture. The impact summary highlights both the need and the potential impact, while the NDC reveals a country's openness to solar cooking and the type of policy, resources, and partnership support that we can anticipate. By combining these insights, we can identify high priority countries where solar cooking can make the greatest difference. And of course, it's no coincidence that the Central African Republic is the site of one of SCI's newest initiatives. So if you'd like to learn more about the tools mentioned today, please connect with an SCI team member or visit our website, solarcookers.org, and navigate to the download resources page. I want to say thank you very much for having me here today, and thank you for taking the time to listen.